Hello viewers, we'd like to say welcome to this special interview, and today we are fortunate to have with us the Minister of Gender and Development right here with us today. The name is Rose Cassell, and today we will be looking at women in politics. What are their roles? How do they see the political area? How is it for them? Is it coping? Is it okay? Do we need to have more women involvement in politics? And no other person is going to be discussing that today but your honorable minister. We'd like to say welcome.
Thank you, Rose, and thanks to the crew. But let me just say for correction, the ministry is the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection.
Okay.
Let me go back to your question. It is good to have you here. Welcome to my home, my humble place. The issue of women in politics, it is so important. And I always stress the need that, you have an airplane, and the airplane has two wings.
Yeah.
The airplane cannot fly with one wing. So you have the male and the female. It is important that both gender are balanced. When it comes to women in politics in our country, yes, we elected a female president, and we thought at the time that we had arrived. But the president is just one branch of government. You have three branches. If you don't have equal participation at all levels, it makes it very difficult. So this time around, with the presidential elections coming up, and 73 seats for the legislature, we are anticipating more women participation. We are encouraging more women participation. About 2-3 months ago, we had over 103 women aspirants. As of today, we have about 34 women that have actually been accredited as candidates. We are hoping to get more. And sometimes people ask the questions. In the district, you may have 10 to 7 men. Why are you having 3-4 women? There's nothing wrong with that. The more women, at least you show that maybe one woman would be
And for me, I
elected.
think there should even be more.
The more the merrier, because it's simple majority. Okay, you can have 15 men going in the same district. What is the issue of having 15 women going in the same district? But notwithstanding, this time around, we are very positive. We have a woman vice standard bearer. We have another woman who was aspiring for the presidency, but we heard that her party is in some chaos. We hope that they can set that up. Our role as the minister is to encourage more women at all levels, beyond party line. Our goal is to see more women. I'm so proud of this young woman, Baby. She's living with disability, but her disability is not her inability to protect, to tell the people what it is that she wants and what her platform is. And she's been selected. She's now a candidate, not an aspirant. And so we want to encourage people living with disability. We have Agnes too, who is aspiring. This time around, what has happened, looking at the past, looking at what we are and where we hope to go, more women now are letting their voices be heard.
Okay, more women are letting their voices be heard. But the men are saying that they have given you people chance and you did not actually prove, beyond the expectation of the Liberian people. That is to say, our president, they feel that she did not do much, and giving women a chance again for the men is slim. How do we cope with that?
Giving women a chance, Rose, the nurturing that this woman brought to this country, I hope that they could open their eyes, but they will after. Because it's always said that a prophet is never praised in his home. I drove from Monrovia to Ganta, and from Ganta back to Monrovia. 2005, the politicians could do that. You can drive now from Bassa. 2005, could they do that? You have men before. This is the first time you had a woman president when everything was chaos, when all the system was broken down. Let's call a space a space. Yes, there were a lot of goodwills. But like I said before, there are three branches of government. We elected the executive, failing to make sure that we have enough women there to puzzle the issues that needed to be. We put a lot of men and less women in parliament. You have the House, the You have the judiciary, that's one branch of government, made up of 5 judges. You got the Chief Justice and the 4 justices. There's 3 to 2. So that is okay. But in Parliament, in the legislature, currently you have only 11. You have 3 female senators out of 30. Out of 30, you got 8 female representatives out of 73. Where is the balance? At the time, coming out of crisis, all the different political parties from different backgrounds. So coping with that, the first 6 years were a difficult year, trying to set the policies and program in place. The next 6 years was to start implementing those programs, but dealing with all the different factors and dealing with all of the different ideas. You know, our country, because of the war, were relying wholly or solely on dependency. Dependency syndrome. It's what you can give to me. It's not what I can give back to my country or to my county. Rose, take for example, as a woman, I went back home 2006 as the first female, not the first female superintendent, but superintendent after the crisis. When it took us 7-8 hours from Monrovia to Buchanan, when there were no resident for a superintendent, when everybody told me that a superintendent was a traditional job, and I said, no, it's an administrative job. In our area today, you go to Buchanan, the superintendent, for the first time, as old as Grand Bassa is, all of the previous superintendents live in their own homes. Nima got a superintendent compound. Lufa has a superintendent compound. Bon County has a superintendent compound. Grand Bassa, with all of the politics, one of those oldest county, never,
did not have,
never, never.
It was under your instrumentality.
Never had. The police station at the time were under the administrative building. Today, you have a separate police station. Immigration have their offices. The Ministry of Education have their own compound. The health have their own compound. The superintendent and the superintendent now can go to Bassa and have a residence. And you say nothing has happened. Look at Monrovia, under a woman president. All of the streets in Monrovia are being connected. But she can only do so much, because when she wants to do something, she is tied by the legislature because they have to agree to what she wants. She is tied. The judges have to, you know, when cases go there, they have to take, for example, the issue of abuse, women and children. You know and I know that our country is a very, very male-dominant country, and it's backed by culture. Culture is good, don't get me wrong, but culture can also be modified. So having to come into this system, women now have voices. When you talk about rape before, how many people heard about rape before 2005? How many people know how many children were being abused? Acid water, domestic violence, before 2005, 2006. Today, every nook and corner, in every county, every district, every hamlet, every village in our county are talking about rape and domestic violence. The awareness has spread. Yes, we are lacking on certain areas, but the 3 branches of government have to coordinate but are separate. The judiciary have our own system, and that is where we are lacking on the persecutional part. Madam President cannot be president and be the Chief Justice, be the Speaker, and be the President pro tem. But they all have to be sharing the same view to be able to move our country forward. But I can tell you with all surety that under her leadership, she has been able to work with them to an extent that she has gotten some of these things done.
Okay, now let's go back to you wanting to jump into the political area. Now tell us your own experience as a minister and one who wants to step out, you know, stepping out as a representative aspirant. Is it challenging for you, or is it an overwhelming experience?
But Rose, let me go back to my days in school. I've always been a political participant. I was the first female president for my high school in Grand Bassa County.
Okay.
I was one of the first recruited for the Federation of Liberian Youth when it started in Liberia. I was a member of the Whole for Bonyi Club during the Toba administration as a young person. So politics have always been my desire. After the war, we were able to find ourselves in the United States of America and living in a community where we saw the need. We became the first female president of the Liberian Association in Northern California. And we served for 2 terms, which is 8 years, 4 years each. So politics have always been in our blood. And we saw the need in 1997 to come back and give to our country. When it didn't go our way, we came back in 2003, 2005. So we always been part of the process to ensuring a true transformation.
Some way, somehow.
Some way, somehow. So going into the national legislature, I have been superintendent for 6 years. So I was also the head of the superintendent council for 6 years. I've been to every political county in this country. I know the issue of local governance. The decentralization that people are talking about today, the deconcentration that people are talking about today, it was under our leadership as chairman of the superintendent council. I would have been minister for 6 years. When I met the Ministry of Gender, when I went in 2012 when I was appointed, it was the Ministry of Gender and Development. Under our own instrumentality and working with the Governance Commission, the law reform, we saw the need to make it bigger and expand it. Today, you have the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. So that is our passion. Caring for families, caring for women empowerment, women peace and security, caring for people living with disability, caring for the less fortunate. When we got to the ministry, the cash transfer was only in 2 counties, Pommy and Maryland. Today, it's in 5 counties. We have the adolescent girls unit. We have the gender department. We have, the social protection, and the children of Liberia has a place to call their home. That is what we do. So going into parliament is because we know the issues. So we're going there to help our colleagues. If we are elected, and I'm sure we will be elected, to make sure that the right laws are passed, and not only that they are passed, but they are implemented to improve the well-being and the lives of our people.
Okay, young women out there listening to you may want to know, how can women in politics, nurture those young women that wants to get into politics?
Very good, Rose. At the ministry we have the mentorship program. Even when I was superintendent ambassador, I established the Girls of Destiny, where we mentor the young girls from junior high to high school on to college. We want to encourage other women who are professional, because all young women might not want to go into politics. But if you don't go into politics, you might not be a politician. But that doesn't stop you from participating in the process, because then somebody will get elected that cannot understand or will have to protect you. So we encourage all out there, be a professional, wherever your professionalism may be in, that when it comes to politics, your voice must be heard. You must help to decide who that next representative becomes, who that next president or vice president becomes. Because then you have a say. If you do not participate, you cannot criticize, because you let go of your right. As a citizen of this country, be you a male or female, it is your right on our constitution to elect your presidents and your legislature.
Okay.
So we want to encourage all young women, if you are under the age of 80 and above, if you have registered, because if you didn't register, you cannot participate.
Yeah.
So those who are looking at the statistics from NEC, the number of women in our country, we have a stand to be corrected, 1,800,000 plus registered voters out of 4 million plus population. The women make about 800 plus, so they are out there. I'm just encouraging them to use that opportunity to vote. People who understands the issue, people who are looking at the family, because because of our crisis, our whole family system was broken down. We need to now build the family back.
Minister Cassell, there is this issue in the house that women don't support each other. I talked to some representative and few senators, and they were like, "We're not supporting each other." Where do you think this talk is coming from?
Women don't support women. You know, that is the common saying. But then what are they doing to ensure that women support women? I've been to the counties. We are out there in the various districts. Most of the women who are aspiring, the chairman of the team are all men, including our incumbents. If you went into the various districts, I have no problem with it because we got what we call he for she. So you need to balance it. But if you are a woman aspiring and you want the women vote, we have structures. You got the rural women in all of the districts, in all of the counties. You got the cross-border women. You got the women in savings and loans. You got the marketeers. But if you take all these men and put them in front of your campaign as a woman, what are you saying? And then the men go out and they bring these same women to them.
Yeah.
So what message are you sending to the women?
No message.
So it's a give and take. So as the minister, I want to encourage all the aspirants, the female, get the women involved. And I have said to them, go into the communities. Find out in every community there are structures. We have established structures. Work through these structures. You have the women there. Let the women be. Tell the women what you can do for them. Tell them how you're going to help their children. Make sure that enough schools are there, that enough clinics are there in the rural communities that will help them and put them in the forefront.
Okay, tell them what can they do for for their children's children in the community that you live in. What are you presenting? What are you putting forth for the future of your own children and your country as well? That's what she's telling you. Now, just before I leave you, there is this thing that women who are already in politics in Liberia here may be cut down by the code of conduct because they already have a position office that they do represent, and if the code of conduct were to take effect, it will be affecting them as well as you. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I am a current minister in government, and of course the code of conduct, like I said before, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land, and I respect the court. Laws are made, but laws are made to be tested. Until the laws are tested, you don't know the strength of the law. And not every law is correct. So we'll leave it as that because there are cases before the court right now for the court to decide. But those women that are now affected by what's called COC, code of conduct, stop going to all these workshops and all these meetings. Because while you are going to the workshop, the men are building the bridges, the men are talking to the people, the men are making, the projects. But you see, they want women to participate by our partners. Every other day they are calling these women to meeting. That's not what the women want. The women want to be financially able. The women want to have access to the media. The women want the media to be friendly to them. That the question you will not ask a man, don't ask a woman that question.
Why?
Because they will ask them.
Human is a human.
A human is a human, but you ask the woman why she got 5 children by 5 different men. You wouldn't ask a man that.
No.
Rose, you're a woman. I'm talking to you, but I know what's happening. Okay? The men will go on a talk show with a woman, they will give him 15 minutes, and by the time the woman wants to call us, we can take a call. So I'm saying to all people in the media, give them equal time, but they too should be prepared. They should do their homework. Because these men are looking at it that if they're not prepared for a debate, if they're not prepared to go to the media, that's where we come in to help them, to build up their capacity, to be able to interact with the media. Go to the entire center, set up these groups, go from community to communities. All of these workshops were supposed to be done a year ago. We got less than 100 days for elections. And donors and partners now wanting to make money, they're just inviting these women to leave their districts, leave their counties, to go to all these different workshops when they should be in a very district at this time. So my word of advice to all of my women out there, want to encourage you, because at least out of the 73 seats, I would like to see women occupying 25 of those seats.
Brilliant.
25 of those seats. So we want to encourage them to stand tall. You know, I love this song. Don't underestimate the strength of a woman.
Yeah.
Women have strength. They have the authority. So they should go for it.
Okay, women, you have the strength, you have the authority, you have the power. Come on, you have the power to do things that can change your community, that can even change you and your country. So go for it. She's telling you, don't just sit there. You already have your slogan.
Yes.
Women, don't just sit there. Do something positive with the men. So go for it. Forge for it and see what it brings you and the future tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. We have been having with us the gender minister here for children's and social protection, and she's been Julia Duncan Cassell. We call her Pinky. We'd like to say thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for watching. The name is Rose Cow. Bye bye.